Hey there, Wranglers. Time for another roundup. And today's roundup is about pain. Oh, not all the different kinds, but some of the different kinds you can experience that are absolutely the worst. And I want to warn that this is not for kids. So if your kids watching, don't watch. Or adults, get the kids out the room or do what you need to do. We're going to get right into it and talk about some of the most painful things that there are and have been. I've got a little slideshow prepared for you guys, and we're going to jump right into it. This is the Brazen Bull. This was a bull made out of brass. You'd put a prisoner or somebody inside that bull. It was hollowed out inside. You'd light a fire under it, and their screams and wails and moans would go through pipes in the bull's head and come out and make this almost musical, wailing, pathetic sound. And the guy, this is funny, the guy that had it built, who commissioned it, was named, how should I say his name? Valerius, okay, and the man who built it was named Perillus, okay, but I'm just going to right now call him the ruler and the inventor. So anyway, the ruler had the inventor make this thing, and the inventor thought he was going to get some kind of reward. Well, the ruler put him in the brazen bowl and burned him, okay, had him as the first victim of his own creation there. Some parts of this tale have it. The king or ruler took him out and then threw him from the top of a mountain to spare him the rest of the death inside that thing. Don't know, but either way, it was a dirty trick. You can imagine the agony of that. You know, you're in this thing. You not only just the physical pain, but the emotional terror. They seal you into this thing with only a little bit of light coming through. It starts to heat up, get hotter and hotter. There's nowhere you can keep from getting burned. Your skin's starting to peel and break, and you're screaming, and you hear your own voice coming through this thing. And eventually, hopefully, sooner than later, you die. That's the Brazen Bull. One of the most, I say, a couple, painful things is, being burned alive and all that kind of thing. But this has some added terror to it. I think the combination makes this whole thing very painful. Next, we're going to go to being burned alive. This is Joan of Arc, and hey, how you doing? Forgive me for being behind my thing here. This is actually Joan of Arc, and she was burned alive at the stake. And the reason I bring this up is not just burned alive. I don't think this happened to Joan of Arc, but sometimes back then what they would do is it wasn't enough just to burn you alive at the stake. What they would do is they would start burning you, okay? And then after a bit, not you weren't dead yet, but you were burned badly, and they'd pull you down off the stake, let you lay on the ground for about 45 minutes as the endorphins went away and all that, and your adrenaline died out, and then you're just left there with the burning, terrible burns on you, being burnt almost to death, that agony, that pain, and then they put you back up on the stake and continue the burning. That not that how sadistic do you got to be to think that up? I mean, sometimes when you're getting burned at the stake, they'd up there start the fire, you get burned a little bit. They'd actually have a guy who'd come up and choke you and kill you, at a mercy. Or sometimes they'd have an archer that would take you out, But this is the opposite of that, man. They just prolonged it. That's ugly. Okay, let's go on. This is crucifixion. We all know what crucifixion is, but let's talk about it a little bit. This is the heel bone of a man, rich. I don't say I'm rich, but he was from a young man who was from a well-to-do family because his bones were found in an ossuary, a very nice box for holding bones. And this is a crucifixion nail driven through his heel bone. His heel bone is that big bone that's your heel, his calcaneus, and it looks like the crucifixion nail hit a knot and twisted and curved, and they had to they couldn't get it out. They had to actually bury him with a piece of wood, I think, and then finally pulled out the nail so they could see it, or got the thing uncovered so you could see it. I wanted to say something about crucifixion. It was a little more painful than I shouldn't say a little more painful. It was obviously terribly painful, but let's talk about how they did it. In fact, sometimes it was so bad that one of the Roman senators was traveling through a province that he commanded, and he saw some people being crucified, and he was so mortified. He was so horrified that this is a Roman senator. He outlawed crucifixion in all his provinces. But what this is a picture of most likely what Jesus's cross looked like. Okay, Thomas Aquinas, somebody actually asked him, this is a, you don't see this around much. They asked him about the cross of Christ, and he says, the cross of our Lord had five extremities, okay? And I'm going to count these extremities for you. As you see up at the top, where's my finger? Let's do the other finger, okay? At the top, there's the cross arm for his arms. You go down a little bit, there's a line across his butt, and then you go down, and his feet are standing on a platform, okay? Now I'm going to explain those in a minute. When they nailed your hands up to the cross, a lot of times the Romans didn't just, they say, was it in the wrist? Was it in the palm? You know, actually, a lot of times it was, excuse me, again, it's weird that working with this thing, right here, across your thumb pad. There's a nerve, a horrible nerve that goes right through there. Well, the nerve isn't horrible, but there is an excruciatingly painful nerve that runs through there if you drive a nail through it. So they would put the nail right through there. Now you were, well, wouldn't you fall off? Didn't people, not hold your weight? Well, your hands weren't, your weight did, your hands didn't hold your weight on the cross, okay? Your butt and your feet and your hands did. You come down, he's got a little piece of wood there. Actually, they call it the sedal, okay? And the Roman expression for crucifixion was to sit upon the cross. And then you go down, and they had his feet on that platform where they nailed him. Probably nailed right through his heel bone into that other platform. So we've got the top two extremities for the arms. We got the extremity for the butt, the sedal, and then we got the two extremities for the feet. That's five extremities. Okay. So, and this is and the caption there. The reason we know it's a Christian caption or whatever, not Christian. It was not Christian. Didn't write it. Is Aleximos? I might stop probably saying his name wrong. Alexamenos worships his god. Okay, and it was making fun of Christianity. We know that much. And this image was dated between the first and third century. So this is what we've got right here. And let me move this back over across my beautiful face, and then we're going to go on to the next thing. Bullet ants. Okay, one of the most painful things a human being can experience is a bullet ant sting. Now, how about a glove full of bullet ants that you put your hands into, and you got both hands go into a glove full of bullet ants that are woven into that thing, and they start stinging you, okay? I had foreign, this is down in South America, and one of the back jungle tribes that do this, and they had a reporter go down there. He could only keep his hand in there a couple of seconds, and his hand was swollen for days. Now, in this tribe, you had to wear those gloves to become a man, but you didn't have to wear them once. You didn't have to wear them twice. You didn't have to wear them three times. You had to wear them 20 times to become a man over the course of a few months or a couple of years. Here's a little boy with those things on, the bullet ant gloves. Now, the bullet ant has the most painful sting of any insect out there, any Hymenoptera insect, or any insect, period. And they're doing this. I don't know how they can endure it. I don't ever want to find out. I don't ever want to experience it. The most painful sting of a insect out there, and then you got a glove full of them. No, thank you. Okay, we're gonna move on because that's scaring me. Okay, we got our box jelly, sometimes called the irukandji, and this guy will sting you, and you will die about 24 hours later if you don't get immediate, should I say, immediate medical treatment. Okay, and he's got one of the most painful stings there are out there, and they're tiny, and they're almost invisible in the water. So you can get stung by one and not even know what it is. You won't even be able to see them in the water. This one was photographed well, but these things are itty bitty. Okay, about the only defense you have against them is nylons, like pantyhose. You cover your body in some kind of pantyhose, and you won't get stung. But you get stung, you're in danger of losing your life. And even morphine doesn't hardly dull the pain for one of these things. It's awful. And yeah, so stay away from your box jellyfish. You get stung, you're going to be in agonizing pain, and if you don't get help, you're going to die. Okay, and we're going to move on. And this ugly thing, this is a monster. Okay, this is the gimpy gimpy, and what the gimpy gimpy is also known as the suicide plant. Now, you get stung by this, it's incredibly painful. It is unbelievably painful. It's almost unendurably painful. Um, they call it the suicide plant not because it causes you to commit suicide. It can't inherently do that, but it has caused people to commit suicide because it's so painful. One person of note wiped his butt with a gimpy gimpy with one of these dirty son bitches. Wiped his butt, and it hurt so bad he had to. I mean, within the, I don't know how the time frame, He wiped his butt, did that, and he ended up killing himself to get out of the agony of that. Okay, that's wiping your booty hole with. Don't wipe booty hole with a gimpy gimpy. You'll regret it. He certainly did, and he ended himself because of this thing. And again, let me throw out there: if there's anybody contemplating suicide, you should call a suicide hotline, get some help, talk to friends. Anyway, don't fuck with the gimpy gimpy. You don't want to even get on your hands or anything because it'll sting for about 24 hours again, like crazy, or even a little more. It'll go away. But then for the rest of your life, you'll have gimpy relapses and flashbacks. The tiny little thread like hairs will get into your skin and stay there forever. So every now and then, you're going to have a flare up of your gimpy if you get stung by one. I don't think I'll ever go to Australia. I think it's a beautiful place, great people, and all that. But it scares me. Gimpy scares me. I'm surprised I don't have nightmares about it even now. Even looking at it, I'm afraid I'm going to get stung. So we're going to move on to our final one. This is a particular favorite of mine. This is getting your basically dental pain, okay? We all hate the dentist. We hate every bit of it. No one loves the dentist. They got gas, they got Novocaine, they got all of that now, but it's just not enough. It never seems to be. And this is a scene from the movie Marathon Man. And what's happening here is Sir Laurence Olivier is drilled into Dustin Hoffman's living tooth, drilled in there, and is now sticking a probe into the sharp probe thing down into the nerve of his tooth, torturing him with this, trying to find out where some diamonds are. And or if anybody's following him or anybody knows where he is, he's torturing Dustin Hoffman with a dental drill. No pain, no Novocaine, no nothing, just drilling right into his tooth and then poking at that nerve. That is just so, man. Can you imagine that? I think I'd sing like a canary if somebody was doing that to me and wanted to know something. I'd hope in that case I would know something, so maybe they'd stop and end me, if but yeah, drilling into your living teeth and then probing it, that just stuck out in my mind when I decided to do this video. Anyway, guys, I wanted to thank you guys for stopping by. Like, subscribe, comment, and even hit the notification bell if you like. Do the YouTube thing, and I hope to see you soon. If you got any questions, complaints, or anything, let me know. I'll answer them. And you guys have a good day, good night, good evening, whatever it is.